The largest archipelago nation is Indonesia. The archipelago has 18,108 islands, according to the most recent official count, which is dispersed between the mountainous island of Breueh in the west and the smaller Sibir Island in Humboldt Bay in the east, as well as between Miangas in the north and Guinea in the south. The islands of Indonesia range in size from the second, third, and sixth largest islands in the world, New Guinea, Borneo, and Sumatra, to tiny islets with only local names. Indonesia is made up of 1,826,440 square kilometers of land and 2.8 million square kilometers of sea. It is located between the latitudes of 6 degrees north and 11 degrees south, and the longitudes of 97 degrees east and 141 degrees west. Indonesia's marine areas increases to 7.9 million square kilometers when the country's exclusive economic zone, which extends beyond the archipelago, is taken into account. Welcome to Good Lucks, a channel dedicated to inspiring you to expand your mindset, make general life breakthroughs, and realize your full potential to see what life has to offer. In this video, we'll examine Indonesia's status as the largest archipelago in the world, as well as what that means for the country. So let's begin. How come Indonesia is the largest archipelago in the world? Indonesia is the country with the most Muslims in the world, with 270 million people. Third largest rainforest on the planet, some portions of which were burning as early as 1998. With more than 500 species, the diversity of mammals is second only to that of Brazil. With more than 1,500 species, the world's diversity of birds ranks 5th. It ranks 7th most biodiverse in terms of plant life. With more than 500 species, it is the 4th most diverse group of reptiles. With 17% of the world's biodiversity, it only makes up 1.3% of the land area. Each island is a keeper of distinct magic, with its evolution, personality, biome, and living types. It is beautiful beyond measure and changing quickly. Many tourists, some would argue too many, have impacted Bali's environment and atmosphere, where many people stop first before traveling farther afield. This Hindu island's pace of life feels like a unique haven from the outside world. The negative touch of tourists can be seen on the lands. For instance, the last Balinese tiger, which the natives believed to be an evil spirit, went extinct in the late 1930s and was hunted by the Dutch, who arrived in Bali more than 300 years ago as a nuisance or for sport. On Java's main island, which includes Jakarta as its capital, more than half of the population resides, with nearly 114 million people living in an area the size of the state of New York. This is one of the densest populated areas in the entire globe. The population of the nation's capital alone is about 12 million people. The Greater Jakarta area is now the second largest metropolitan area in the world as a result. Along with Bahasa Indonesia, the archipelago nation's official national tongue, there are over 300 indigenous local languages spoken there. The geological conditions and the biological variety of the various regions and islands can vary greatly. Young and vibrant, a reliable foundation for growth. Indonesia has had noticeable economic growth and robust development for quite some time because the country's focus on sustainable development and the high proportion of young people in the population. The domestic market in Indonesia is sizable, and more than 50% of the population lives in metropolitan areas. It makes sense that its gross domestic product increases annually. This can be attributed to the private consumption to a 60% extent. In addition to playing a crucial function, the tourism industry also benefits from the nation economically, even while the present administration has been successful in maintaining economic growth and forward momentum thus far. The epidemic and its effects have taken a toll during the past 2 years. The country is predestined for maritime transportation. With roughly 108,246 kilometers of coastline, Indonesia is the 4th largest archipelago in the world. Additionally, Indonesian waterways are bordered by the Straits of Malacca, one of the busiest maritime commerce routes in the world. It is one of the busiest rivers in the world, with 200 to 250 ships passing through each day. Between 20 and 25% of all items shipped around the world travel through this ocean route. Indonesia depends more on shipping than virtually any other nation because it is an island nation. The majority of domestic trade and cargo transportation occurs in the water, with around 11% of the GDP produced in this way. Maritime shipping logistics play a significant role in the nation's economic development and overall infrastructure. Although most of them are made for small ships, there are roughly 100 commercial ports. Tanjung Priok, one of the busiest ports for ferry and cargo traffic, is the biggest port and is situated in North Jakarta. Last year, this port handled about 5 million TEU of cargo. Indonesia's geographical location offers immense promise, but infrastructure still has to be improved. Ports with inadequate infrastructure and processing delays are frequent occurrences. The state, investors, and in particular the population of the islands suffer as a result of high logistics costs and lost revenue. For consumer items, food, and gasoline, they must spend more than residents of population centers. This in turn inhibits the nation's economic growth. The country has successfully utilized the ocean as a resource. The government is now aggressively encouraging the growth of the shipping industry and infrastructure with a strong focus on the maritime sector. After taking office in 2014, Indonesia's president announced that he wants to turn his nation into a center for international ocean-going trade. The port of Tanjung Priok is now building a new terminal as part of this initiative, which will more than increase the capacity for transshipment to 18 billion TEU. In 2023, the terminal ought to be finished. Shorter processing times are necessary, as well as the trend towards digitization. At the end of 2020, development of the new Palembang port in West Java began. One of Indonesia's most significant export ports after the completion of the last phase, this should have the capacity to handle around 7.5 billion TEU of cargo. The main goal should be to lighten the pressure on Tanjung Priok, which is frequently overburdened. The fact that Indonesia is an archipelago has significant effects on both its identity as a country and its nature as a state. Sukarno, the first president of Indonesia, asserted with confidence that even a young child could see the chain of islands between Asia and Australia made up a single nation. But most observers see Indonesia's geography as having the potential for fragmentation rather than as a self-evident whole. Islands seem to many people to be destined by nature for distinct existences, and as a result, Indonesia's unity has come off as fragile, artificial, and possibly even unreal. Additionally, a model of fragmentation is the region that most closely resembles Indonesia geographically. The 7,000 or more tropical islands that make up the Caribbean archipelago, which is separated by 2 continents, are known for their diverse cultures and extensive colonial past. It is home to about 40 million people who come from a variety of ethnic backgrounds and is commonly referred to as the West Indies. There are 27 sovereign states and dependent territories, nevertheless. Any additional questions or comments should be posted in the comments section. Thank you as you engage with this post. If you liked the video, kindly click the like and subscribe buttons so that others can see it and be motivated. Enable the notification bell as well so you don't miss any new videos regarding personal growth. See you soon.